Hello, lovely people. I hope that you're having a fantastic day wherever you are. It's Hila here, and thank you so much for tuning in to Saturday Night Stitch. Today's video, I'm just going to take you along as I do a little bit of cosmetic restoration work on an Elna Grasshopper that I won on an eBay auction during summer. It's been sat in its box waiting for me to have the time to actually take it out and clean it up because it had a lot of sand and grit and broken seashells. It doesn't come with a power cable, so there is no electrical work for me to do. It is just going to be an ornamental little grasshopper, but it is the cutest little vintage sewing machine, which I am just really happy to have in my collection, and it's going to take pride of place in my sewing room, and it's literally going to be the first thing I see as I walk in to my sewing room because I do adore it so much. So grab your cups of teas or coffees, start folding your laundry, just keep yourself busy whilst I take you along the restoration process of the Elna Grasshopper. I just want to take a moment to mention that you shouldn't ever use WD-40 for a sewing machine. And the only reason that I am using it on this particular one is because I have no hope of restoring this particular lovely little grasshopper to make it an actual working sewing machine. But if you use WD-40 on a sewing machine, you actually strip away any of the oil that it has or any lubricant that it has, and it will make it bone dry. And in fact, not oiling your sewing machine is better than using WD-40. What sort of oil should you be using on sewing machines? You can only use sewing machine oil, like this Singer machine oil. Not 3-in-1 oil, not WD-40, not olive oil, not 4 machine oil, nothing except what is sold as sewing machine oil. So again, I can't stress that enough. The only time that you would use WD-40, particularly if you're restoring vintage sewing machines, is it is very good as a solvent and as a degreaser. So it can get those parts that have completely gunked up and ceased to be able to move. And you just spray that on those parts, let it soak for a while, and then have a go at clearing, at getting them to move. And it tends to be useful for that, but it's not actually used for lubricating it. And why I was using it was to try and get the wheel to turn, but I couldn't get it to work anyway. The poor little thing is completely rusted over. There's loads of rust on the inside as well. And because I don't have the power cable, I've basically realized that the chances of me being able to fix it, to get it to work in order, are very slim, because Elna Grasshopper sewing machine parts, they very rarely become available. It's not like with Singer, where like hundreds of thousands were made. And so it's just going to be an ornamental one, which is why I use WD-40. But moral of this little segment, do not use WD-40 on a working sewing machine. Another thing that WD-40 is useful for, you can, when you're cleaning up your machine, it does give it a nice little shine on the surface when you use it. And that's what I did it with that one. Anyway, back to the cleaning now. Well, here we go. Ta-da! And doesn't she look lovely? I think that she does. The decal on it is in pretty much perfect mint condition. There aren't any dents or anything on the actual cosmetic look of it, which is really lovely, though the poor thing has got so much rust on the inside. And it's that kind of rust that built up over moisture, so you've got sort of like droplets of rust. And it's one of the reasons why I was spraying the WD-40, though one must never use WD-40 as a lubricant for a sewing machine. It is good for dissolving that sort of gunk that accumulates over decades of neglect. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get it to turn the wheel, even with the help of my super strong husband, who's normally able to move things around. But that's okay. I knew that I didn't have much chance of making this a working Elna Grasshopper. I have been searching for one for years now, and I'm happy to have it as an ornamental one. And I promise I will never let it get as dusty as it got when it arrived to me. But yeah, that's lovely. So the case is just going to go down into the basement, and that's just going to stay there. And I'll adorn it with some little fairy lights, I thought. And I'll make like some little origami flowers, to grow on it. I've got many ideas about what to do with it. It will be my constant companion in the sewing room, where currently I have started to work on McCall's M6044. It's all being cut out, and hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, throw salt over my shoulder, I should be able to get done at some point today and tomorrow. So that's it. Until I see you next time, lovely people. Thank you so much for staying until the end. I really do appreciate you. If you haven't already, do subscribe. I'm crazy about sewing, and I put out a lot of sewing content. And also, please do like the video, especially if you've watched until the end. It supports the channel, and I appreciate it. Other ways of supporting the channel is do check out the merch shop, where I've got some Better Sewn Than Perfect bags and cups, and also some happy sewing bags and cups, and all of those lovely sewing mantras that will just, brighten up your sewing room if you so choose to get them. And until I see you next time, lovely people, happy sewing. Bye.